Good evening. Welcome to the West Side. All right, the best side. All right, we on script today. I am your Houston City Council Member Tiffany D. Thomas, and I have the pleasure of representing you at City Hall. And I'm also proud to be the chair of the Housing and Affordability Committee. And how many of you in the room, this is your first time at the Alief Neighborhood Center? Oh, wow. Welcome to the West Side. This is 30 years in the making. I want to make sure that I want to bring your attention to some of the photos you may see in the hallway. The late Barbara Quattro, she was our super neighborhood president, long time serving. Let's go ahead and give Barbara. So you'll see her photos. It's an exhibit with my office in the Houston Public Library all throughout as we celebrate Women's Month and Earth Day. But this building is an example of Community Development 101. Some of the discussion you'll have throughout your tables through the HUD Annual Action Plan. So for many of you in the room, like Doug, who I see, Jeff, others, this is your second home. This neighborhood center is fully actualized. We have 3 city departments here. Houston Health Department, you see we have the WIC across the hall. We have the Houston Public Library upstairs on the 2nd floor. And then Houston Parks Department that manages the gym. And then the green space. I want to encourage you to familiarize yourself with the center. And hopefully we'll have you back again. So tonight, this meeting is really about you. This meeting happens once a year. And it's required, and so I'm so grateful that the Housing Department chose Southwest Alief, Texas, and District F to host this meeting. I want to. Most of the time that I've been here, I would often hear that the city doesn't come out here. No one does anything out here, and we have changed that narrative. And I want to say the last time the Housing Department hosted in District F was the first year of my term, 2020. I think we were in West Chase. We were at Tracy G. So we want to welcome y'all back to the West Side. But particularly for those of you in the room, we need your feedback. It's critically important. The HUD Annual Action Plan was presented to the Housing Committee 2 weeks ago. So the council members have seen this, and now it's time for the public to opine on this. Everything around homelessness, for many of you, that is a concern that you've shared with my office, and we look forward to hearing that, but also multifamily development, making sure that we have affordable housing, funding around public facilities, parks, community centers, all of those things. The funding attached to this item is related to that, and we need your contribution. So all those questions you email me about, y'all can talk about that here tonight, and it's so important. And so if you are a delayed response person like I am, sometimes you have to sit with a lot of information. This is not your only time to participate. This is the only in person, but on April 7th, this meeting will take place again online from 3 to 5 p.m. So you can participate, get all the information that you have, bring it back to your neighborhood. I see West Hollow in the house. Hey, West Hollow is in the house. Bring it back to your neighborhood and then invite them on April 7th because comments are due back to the department on April 8th. So it's very important that we have you on record for your with your comments. And so I'm going to take my seat, but you are in very good hands with the housing team. I want to introduce you to the director of the Housing and Community Development Department, Mike Nichols. And so as Director Nichols approaches the podium, let me say, as I mentioned earlier, homelessness is something that all of us are grappling with. On Saturday, in partnership with the Housing Department and other homeless strike force partners on the West Side, we're hosting our very first mobile shower activation at the Church Without Walls on Eldridge. As of today, we have 73 unhoused individuals signed up for transportation. We are providing showers, haircuts, case management, immunizations, IDs, and more. So your concerns around the homelessness, I want you to know it's not falling on deaf ears. And Mike's leadership around homelessness has helped Houston and Harris County become a national model. So I want you to know that when he's leading this effort tonight, know that he understands what it takes in order to get it done. Director Nichols.
Thank you. Thank you. I am Mike Nichols. I'm the Director of Housing and Community Development, and I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. First, I want to say something about your councilwoman, Tiffany Thomas. She is an expert when it comes to housing affordability. I mean, she knows more than just about anybody of any elected official. And I lean on her all the time to teach me a great deal. Besides being a real expert in housing affordability, she is also strong as horseradish. and it's true. You're very lucky to have somebody who is as strong and capable and smart who represents you. You're very, very lucky. That's the truth. So thank you for having us here. This is a beautiful facility. It's the first time that I've been here, and I asked the councilwoman, I said, so who paid for this beautiful facility? And she said, the various city departments work together to pull monies from all sort of places to pay for this building. And it is beautiful. It is really beautiful. It's just about as nice as any city building I've ever been in. So congratulations to that. I want to take a moment, because I'll forget at the end, to recognize our HCD team. So I'd like you all to stand up and at least wave. This is a very dedicated team. I mean, they come to work early and they stay late, and having these meetings is a big deal because we want to know what the community thinks. It's not only our obligation because of the federal funds we receive to know what the community thinks, but it is very, very important to us. So this group works day and night. I've seen them. When people ask about city workers, I'm telling you, this group really works hard. They care about their work. They care about every dollar that's spent, make sure it's spent well. It's a very impressive group, and I'm very lucky to work with them every day. This evening is about connection, information, and engagement. Our team is here. The reason we're here is to share resources, provide an overview of our plans, and mainly to hear directly from you. I encourage you to take full advantage of the time here in this opportunity. Visit the tables, ask questions, ask lots of questions. There's no question that shouldn't be asked. Share your ideas and help us, all of us here, ensure that this process reflects the needs and priorities of the communities we serve. Houston is one of the most diverse and dynamic cities in the world. You know, one of the things that I love about Houston is we have embraced our diversity. So many in the country seem to push it away, but it's really our pride. I mean, it is our pride. And we're here today with a diverse group of individuals who have diverse backgrounds, and we appreciate each other. Stephen Kleinberg, the professor at Rice, called Houston the prophetic city, the city of the future. And I do believe that, and the diversity is what makes it that city. Progress happens when residents stay informed, get involved, and work together. That is the magic of Houston, and that's the magic of our country. And there are days I know you feel frustrated that folks in Washington aren't doing exactly what you think they ought to be doing. But I want to tell you, this is where it starts. This is where that action is done, right here on the local level. So I thank you again for being here and being part of this conversation. And now I'd like to hand things over to Lisa McNeil, who will guide us through the flow of evening and presentations. Lisa, come on up. I think, Lisa, this is your first time doing this.
This is my first.
So, you know, when I tell everybody, if she makes a mistake, just know that making mistakes, embarrassing ourselves, that's what keeps us human. So don't worry about tonight.
Absolutely, but you know I'm a former teacher and principal, so I'm used to making a fool of myself in front of lots of people. So welcome, thank you. Thank you, Director Nichols, thank you, Tiffany. So my name is Lisa McNeil. I am a staff analyst and the grant writer for the Planning and Grant Division. I'm happy to be here, and I have to piggyback on what was said. When I walked into the building, I used to live in this community. This did not exist, and I was overwhelmed. This is beautiful. This is a space that makes me proud to be part of Houston. I'm not from Houston, but I got to Houston as fast as possible. You understand, right? Okay. So I'm excited to be with you all to talk about the development and our strategic planning. We talk about the annual action plan. There is a copy somewhere in the room that if you want to take a look at it, you can actually see, but you can also visit it online. We welcome you because we do want the comments and the feedback so we can make sure we are making the best choices for what's going to happen in the city with the funds that we are awarded. Today, you're going to also hear from the Deputy Director, Derek Sellers, who will moderate the public comment segment of the meeting, and my colleague, staff analyst, Alan Issa. He's going to guide us through the guided activity, which we'll do here in these 6 core tables. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but that's a breakout activity, and it's an opportunity for you to voice your opinion and give the feedback about how we spend those dollars. So we're going to talk about the agenda. You can follow along on any of the screens. We're going to start with the presentation. We'll move into the breakout group activity. We will have a public comment and a question and answer. Some of you might ask, what's the difference? The public comment is strictly that, it's public comment. There is no back and forth, but the question and answer is your opportunity to ask questions and receive an answer. And we're not all experts, so if we don't have the answer for you today, we will make sure we get the answer to you. We have comment pages on each of the tables, as well as where the sign-in sheet is. If it's something that we cannot or just are not sure of, we'll make sure to get back with you. I will make sure you have our contact information at the end so that you can communicate with us. So we're going to talk about during the presentation general information in the overview, summaries of the data research and the public engagement, annual action plan and the accomplishments. That's what we've done in the past, what we've accomplished, why we are making the decisions moving forward, and then the annual grant allocations and the budget. Thereafter, we will have our breakout group activity, again, guided by Alan, during which you'll be able to be placed in groups, and that's these 6 core tables, so that you can have a brief discussion and actually manipulate some money so you can see how you want to best use those dollars. And then we will end the evening with a few final remarks. A recording of this meeting will be available on our website, houstontx.gov/housing. Presentation slides will also be available on our public hearing webpage. That's houstontx.gov/housing/public-hearing. We also have QR codes scattered around the room, so you can take the QR code, scan with your phone, and go directly to the webpage. So let's start with an overview. Raise your hand if you've ever had or ever attended a meeting hosted by the Housing and Community Development Department. I know I've seen some faces that were at the Multipurpose Center in 3rd Ward. Not many, different neighborhood, but we do welcome you to attend any and all of the meetings. For those of you who do not or have not attended our meetings, we provide an opportunity for residents and stakeholders to work collaboratively with our department to plan for the future of our community. We're going to dive into the first part of the presentation. We envision a city where everyone has a home they can afford and a community where they can thrive. At the City of Houston, at the Housing and Community Development Department, we envision a city where you are welcome, this is your home, and this is where you can afford to live. We achieve this vision through providing affordable homes, making public facility improvements, funding partners to provide community development, and supporting organizations that deliver services for low and moderate income persons. Why are we here today? We are here today to discuss and share the 2026 Annual Action Plan, which is the 5th year of our consolidated plan. Today, we're going to talk about that in detail. It's the city's roadmap for how we will invest in our community over the coming program year. That is the 2nd year of our 5-year strategic plan, and the Annual Action Plan is how we translate that long-term strategy into concrete action, 1 year at a time. So every year we will represent a new annual action plan. To receive our federal formula funding, we are required to submit that plan each year and the documents to support the program specifics and the investments for the city, and we'll undertake to address our community and priority needs. This year, our goals remain focused on what matters most to our residents, Those are enhancing the quality of life, expanding home ownership opportunities for those that might not have been able to afford in the past, preserving and expanding the supply of affordable housing, promoting health and safety throughout, assisting persons affected by HIV and AIDS, reducing homelessness, which we know is a big topic, and revitalizing communities that need it the most. Each of these goals reflects real needs, and today's conversation is about how we're going to achieve those. These are our 4 formula funds. We have CDBG, Home, HOPWA, ESG. You'll see in the next few slides how that money has been distributed. We have about $25.6 million of funds from CDBG for housing, public services, public facilities, and economic development. The Home Fund is about $10 million. It creates affordable homes for renters and homeowners alike. HOPWA, $13.9 million, provides housing and social services for persons living with HIV and AIDS and their families. And then the ESG supports shelter and services for people experiencing or at risk of experiencing homelessness. These are projected funds, projected totals, so keep that in mind. They're not exact. So this is where we talk about our public engagement activities. Community input is at the heart of the annual action plan, and this spring we made it a priority to hear from as many Houstonians as possible. We did it in 2 different ways. First, through our community needs survey. Raise your hand if you participated and completed the community needs survey. I'm glad to see a couple. We only had about 204. We were aiming for 500. But the more this is talked about and the more this is put out, the more knowledge is that it's available. So second, through public engagement meetings, kind of like this one, we did one in December. We come together in person to listen, answer questions, and have these real conversations where you give the feedback about what your thoughts are. The goal of all of this is to straightforward to better understand your needs as stakeholders and as service providers, and as residents, citizens of the community, so that we can build strategies that truly reflect the priorities of our communities. Here we're going to look at some demographic information. Houston is one of the fastest growing regions in the United States. I think we can all understand that. We recognize that from the traffic. People continue to move here because it's a very affordable place, even though we do see the rise in the cost of living. As of the 2005 5-year census estimate, there are over 2.3 million people and 930,000, that's almost a million households. Over 56% are LMI households, that's low to moderate income, earning 80% and below the area median income. Let that resonate for a moment. Persons with disabilities make up approximately 10% of the population. Workforce population makes up approximately 53% of the population. The median income sits just under $65,000, with the median home value at $277,000. Do you see the gap? Median rent is over $1,300. Lastly, 42% of the households live in a home building built prior to 1978, which means it's probably at risk for having lead-based paint. That's staggering statistics. What this shows is that prices are rising faster than the income. What does that mean? It makes housing affordability harder for some. This slide tells the story of exactly that. Since 2019, housing costs in Harris County have risen sharply across both homeownership and rental markets. Median household income grew 25% between 2019 and 2024, but typical home values surged 44%. That's a big change, nearly double the rate. Rents also outpaced incomes for several years through rent growth has stabilized since 2022. Income and rent growth are now closer to the alignment, but rental affordability remains a challenge for many, especially for households earning under $75,000. That's a lot. Elevated home values continue to erode home ownership across and access for many residents. Looking at this slide, we're looking at the affordability of assessing housing cost burden. Across Harris County, 54% of all renter households are cost burden. That means they spend a good portion of their income on their rent. What does that mean? That leaves less money for other necessities, childcare, health, nutrition, all the things that make life total. Not everyone is able to make that affordability. So nearly all extremely low income renters, 96% of them, about 138,000 households, are cost burdened, with half spending more than 83% of their income on rent. Imagine 83% of your check goes to pay where you rest your head. Very low income renters aren't far behind, 92% cost burden, representing another 123,000 households. And it's not just about income level. Household type matters too. 80% of single parent households are cost burden, spending a median 59% of income on rent. Senior renters, that's a different demographic, face serious pressure as well, 73% cost burdened on a fixed income with limited options. The takeaway, households with the least flexibility, the lowest incomes, single parents, seniors are bearing the burden, the greatest burden. So we asked and you responded. We do hope to have more responses in the future. But here are some of the key themes and priorities that came through in this year's Community Needs Survey. And they will directly inform how we shape the 2026 action plan. So the top 3 community needs and priorities, we have affordable housing, access, and home repair. The home repair was a topic that was discussed at the last meeting quite a bit, because just because I own a home does not necessarily mean I can still maintain it. Taxes and maintenance are just as important as paying for the cost of the home itself. Homelessness, solutions, and wraparound services. That was another big ticket item. Everyone was very vocal about, we say we're putting the money into homelessness, but we still see the same homeless people on the streets. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but we understand people are very concerned. When I get out of my car early in the morning or late at night, I want to feel safe, right? And then reducing barriers to accessing programs. That was another one. A lot of residents made comments about, it's nice to have programs and grants available, but if I can't complete the paperwork, what good is it for me, right? Make it make sense. Top 3 affordable housing needs and priorities: home repair funding for existing homeowners, closing the affordability gap for renters and aspiring homeowners, and multifamily repair and renter protections. Affordable housing access and home repair. Residents need both pathways into home ownership and funding to repair existing homes, especially seniors and disaster-affected households. We've had several disasters in the Houston area, so we can all resonate with that comment. If my home had no flood insurance and I'm flooded out, I live in Katy, Bear Creek, the water came over the roofs, what am I gonna do? I had parents at that time who rebuilt their homes room by room. But there's funding for that, so we just need to have the accessibility to know how to access that money. Home repair funding for existing homeowners, the most consistent housing specific ask across both meetings, particularly for seniors, disaster-affected homeowners, and those who didn't qualify for state or buyout programs, with flood resilience and home elevation cited as urgent needs. Closing the affordability gap for renters and aspiring homeowners. Residents identified a clear gap for those who earn too much to qualify for assistance, but not enough to afford the market, with specific calls to raise the AMI threshold to 120%. That's where the term middle income comes from. The middle class, that's the class that I don't qualify here, I make too much money here, and I make too little money here. It's a big concern, and it's a growing concern, not just in Houston, but across the nation. Multifamily repair and renter protections. Renters were repeatedly identified as the most underserved population, particularly during disasters, with strong support for funding multifamily repairs rather than just building new units. That was a very strong vocal point. And for expanding access to assistance programs that currently favor homeowners. So you can see from the survey, was not a large sample, but we did take all of that feedback in, and we do understand what the concerns are. So the top 3 public facilities improvements, needs and improvements: parks, recreational facilities and community spaces, healthcare facilities, senior citizen centers. I think this center here is a perfect example of what can be done with city money. It's a beautiful facility, and I think every one of those needs has been met here at this facility. Top 3 community service home needs and improvements: employment and job training services, childcare and youth services, home buyer assistance, and financial stability services. And then the 3 infrastructure needs and improvements: trash cleaning and illegal dumping prevention. I know we've all seen those neighborhoods or those streets where the trash just continues to pile up. Stormwater drain, floodplain management, and then sidewalk improvements and accessibility for people with disabilities. That's a huge concern. So now let's talk about the plan itself. This is our annual action plan. Again, there is a copy here in the room, and you can also find it online. The feedback you and your neighbors provided goes directly into shaping the 2026 annual action plan, the document that determines how we invest our federal dollars to meet Houston's most pressing community needs. Here you'll see a grant of our grant allocations, and just to show you the trend over the last 5 years, how the money has been distributed. The chart shows our federal formula grant allocations from HUD over the last 5 years, 2021 to 2025. Overall, our funding has remained relatively stable across all 4 grants. CDBG continues to be the largest source, hovering around $25 million annually. HOPRA has a steady increase over the period, reflecting the growing need. Home and ESG have remained pretty consistent. While the funding levels are steady, the dollars don't go as far as they used to, and I think we all understand that. Cost to put groceries in our refrigerators has gone up. $200 might equate to 2 or 3 grocery bags, so we know that is true across the board. While the funding levels are steady, again, the dollars don't go as far. Inflation and rising costs mean we have to be strategic about how we spend our dollars. Our programs will continue, but we'll have to calibrate or recalibrate our investments to reflect current costs and the evolving needs of the Houstonians. With that, we're going to look at the budget. So this next slide will give you an overview of the 4 funds. So again, 25, just over almost 26 million for CDBG. Home is just over 10 million. HOP was 13.9, and then we have ESG with 2.1 million. With the largest fund being CDBG, nearly 43% directed toward multifamily housing rehab, with additional funding for public services, home repair, and home ownership assistance. The home at 10 million supports multifamily, single-family housing acquisition, rehab, and new construction. HOPRA, once again, is for the population affected by HIV/AIDS. 13.9 million for rental assistance, operating costs, and supportive services. And then ESG is emergency shelter, rapid rehousing, and homeless prevention. Prevention is the key. Just keep in mind, HUD's formal award letter is delayed due to congressional budget issues. Any changes to the final amounts will maintain the same percentage distributions. So these next slides will go into the detail behind each of the formula grants that we just looked at. So the CDBG allocation, single largest investment, nearly 43% of the total, goes to multifamily housing rehabilitation at $11 million. This reflects the urgent need to preserve existing affordable housing stock across Houston. Public services receives just under $4 million, about 15% of the total budget, funding the community programs and direct services that Houstonians rely on. Single-family home repair is allocated $3 million, helping low-income homeowners maintain safe and stable housing. Program administration, that's the operations that it takes to make sure all of the programs flow, that the work is being done, the processes are in place. That's about 20% at $5 million. There is a cap for managing and overseeing all of the programs. And then rounding out the allocations, home ownership assistance, $1 million, economic development at $830,000, the ESG matching funds is $500,000, and the lead-based paint remediation at $199,000. Every dollar is targeted towards the needs our community did tell us that it matters the most to them. Let's look at some of the accomplishments of what we've done with the CDBG money. We provided public services to 3,160 households. We improved one public facility. We did lead hazard abatement of 38 homes, constructed 75 affordable rental homes, repaired or reconstructed 34 single-family homes, and home buyer assistance to 12 households. So now this is our home allocation. Planning and administration, estimated about $1 million. $5.5 million for multifamily rehab and development, $3.4 million for single-family developments. And again, some accomplishments with those funds. Developed approximately 75 new multifamily units. Single-family home development was 10 affordable single-family homes. So you see the amount of money and the amount of time it takes to put into the community to achieve these goals. This is our HOPWA grant allocation. Again, this is the fund for HIV/AIDS affected individuals. A little over $2.7 million for the operating costs, $2.6 million for supportive services, $4.9 million for tenant-based rental assistance, $2.2 for short-term rent, mortgage, and utility stabilization, $64,000 for resource identification, and $1.2 million for administration. Our accomplishments, we provided tenant-based rental assistance for 300 households. That's a very large number of homes that we were able to provide support for. 500 households will receive short-term rental mortgage or utility subsidies to prevent housing instability during a crisis. 205 households will be served through funding for permanent or transitional facilities, and 1,800 households will receive supportive services, which are wraparound care that helps clients maintain stable housing and access for the resources that they need to survive. These investments reflect our commitment to ensuring that persons living with HIV/AIDS have access to safe, stable housing and the services that support their well-being. And then the final grant allocation for ESG, a little over $86,000 for homeless management information system, $1 million for emergency shelter, $358,000 for homeless prevention, over $500,000 for rapid rehousing, which assists persons who recently became homeless because they became homeless and are looking to find a new home, and $162,000 for grant administration. Again, accomplishments for this last year. Through the ESG funding, we anticipate serving, for the current year, we anticipate serving a total of 1,514 households across 3 areas in 2026. First, we will provide tenant-based rental assistance, including rent, utilities, and relocation and stabilization services to 179 households through rapid rehousing. Unlike HOPWA, this program serves households regardless of their HIV/AIDS status. Second, we will provide funding for permanent or transitional facilities, including emergency shelter operations serving 100 households. Finally, we will extend supportive services to approximately 1,200 households, helping residents stabilize and maintain their housing through wraparound services. So here, take note, you might want to take your camera out, take a picture if you want to. The plan is available at the following locations. We have HoustonTX.gov/housing. You have our physical address there. Citizens are welcome to come in at 2100 Travis. We are on the 9th floor. Downtown, right at Webster. And then comments can also be accepted by emailing us here, hcddplanning@houstontx.gov. You can also mail it to the same address where we're physically located, 2100 Travis, Houston, Texas, 77002, and our website is there for you to visit us online. So now, moving on to our breakout activity. This is another opportunity, and this is where we want your engagement, for you to voice your opinions in an activity that we have prepared. Now, Alan's going to come and join us and lead us through this.
Great. Thank you so much, Lisa, for a great presentation. Everybody, round of applause. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alan Issa, and I will be facilitating this portion of the community meeting. I just want to thank you all for being here today. This is the biggest community meeting that I've been a part of, so thank you. Yeah, so before we begin, if we could form a group of about 8 to 10 people at each table. I know Lisa mentioned 6, but maybe we need 7 or 8 tables. So, and then all the HCD volunteers to join one of the tables, that would be great. Yeah, if you need translating assistance, we have language assistance in the back over there, back tables. So, and in the front as well. So if y'all could stand up, move around, form a group of 8 to 10 people, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, excuse me. Excuse me, can I have everyone's attention? Just for a little bit. I just want to make it known that if you are at a table that doesn't have a sheet in the middle or activity, please just merge with another table. We're so thankful and grateful that you guys came out, and we underestimated. So if everybody could just merge together. Okay. No.
All right, now I will go through tonight's activity. Alan, P, next slide. All right, so in this activity, you will discuss with the group and decide how you all want to allocate $50 million among 5 different housing and community development programs: single family, multifamily, public services, public facilities, and services for the homeless. After the initial conversation is done, each table will flip over the what if scenario card that is on top of your table. At the end, each group will report out their decisions, allocations, and anything else that you would like to share with us. This activity will take approximately 20 minutes. Next slide. All right. Each table should have a budget map that looks like one on the screen that is showing right now. After discussing with your group, distribute the 10 money tiles that are also on the table. Each money tile represents $5 million, so that's a total of $50 million. After you are all done forming a budget, flip the scenario card, which is also in front of you. Then decide where to move exactly 2 $5 million tiles, so $10 million in total. Record what changed and why. Next slide. All right, just as a friendly reminder, before you begin in your group discussion, please quickly introduce yourself to the group, which neighborhood you live in, and why you came to today's meeting. Next slide. And lastly, I would like to ask everyone to be respectful. Please do not interrupt anyone when someone is speaking and avoid using any inflammatory language. We will be using the feedback from this activity to develop the 2026 annual action plan, so please stay engaged. I will now begin the timer. 20 minutes. All right, thank you. Time is up. Time is up. If you could all please start wrapping up your conversations. Time is up.
Okay, can I have everyone's attention? Can I have everyone's attention? Y'all are having a good time. Y'all still talking. Hey, can I have everyone's attention? Everyone's attention. I love this because that means we're interacting and we're exchanging information and we're having a good time. And that's what this is all about, exchanging information and putting it all together. Okay, so we're going to get started tonight and we're going to go around to each table and you're going to tell us what the results were from your group. So does everybody know the exercise? Do we have the exercise up here, the directions? Can we get that?
Alan, thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so we got a lot of millionaires in the room and we have a lot of priorities to go over. So I'm gonna start on this side of the room. If that's okay, I'm gonna move over here. So let's go over to this table. And who is your facilitator leader? Caitlin? Okay, Perfect. Okay, here you go.
I just break down what we came up with. Do I need to stand? Okay. So the way we broke ours up, just by like money for now, the single family received 10 million, the multifamily received 10 million, the public services received 20 million, and the public facilities received 10 million. So what we pretty much discussed, and the reason public services obviously got the most at 20 million, everything else got 10, because we felt that public services help people get out of the situation that they're in. Well, granted, it's great for them to have a home. Typically what happens is that they need help with utilities or they need help with childcare. So people will come in for evictions and they'll say, I need childcare. I can't get a job because I don't have childcare. But then they can't get a job. Well, they can't get a job because they don't have childcare. And then their children are uncared for because they can't get a job. And so the cycle just kind of continues and continues and continues. So we thought public services made the most sense to give the most money towards. That way we're helping younger families as well, and we're caring for the kids that then turn into the adults. And one of the other things we noted is things like the child who is hungry is gonna have a much harder time learning in school than the child that is well-fed. So, yes.
Awesome, great, thank you so much. Next group? Miss Sheila's group.
So I would say my table was very passionate on how to spend the 50 million. We broke ours down by 10 million for single family, 20 million for multifamily, 10 million for public services, and 10 million for public facilities. And the reason why we gave multifamily the most money was because our table was more concerned about the seniors in the community, because there are so many unaffordable housing for our seniors, and that was the main concern for the reason why we gave the 20 million.
Great, thank you so much. Next group, I'll pass it on to, I guess, Dan's group.
Hi, good afternoon. He said stand up. So, we had some very passionate people at our table as well. The passions that won out. No, I'm just kidding, guys. So we allocated our budget for single family homes at 15 million, multifamily at 10 million, public services also at 15 million, public facilities at 5 million, and services for the homeless at 5 million. The reason for our top two is because of affordability as well as to build generational wealth. And interestingly, we did have seniors in mind as well, because we don't want them to get pushed out of their homes. We want them to be able to stay in their homes. And then our public services, we got to put back into the children. We got to be able to have programs that they'll be able to go and cultivate something, skill sets that will cause them to be able to thrive in whatever economy.
Great, thank you so much. We'll go to Joe's group back there in the very back. Actually, we'll pass it on to Joe first.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this table?
Yes.
Okay, hold it up. Yeah, hold. I hold it up. Yeah. Oh, right here. Okay, good evening, everybody. Yeah, this is our table right here. My name is Adam Tran, and we have this, we got $50 million. We sure know how to spend it, right? We even have a signature. Make sure this is the real money we're gonna get. Tiffany, this is real, okay? Okay. All right, I have a Dr. Broad right there. I'll go first two, and you go to lot two. All right, I go on a borrowing up. The public facility, we got it $5 million because public facilities, so many of them already around here, especially in Alief. So we just need some touch-up. right? Maybe the additional room, like a pickleball, for example, right? Okay, $5 million. The public service is the most important. So many things here that Tiffany been helping us. Number one is the senior program. Right here is in public services. The senior power. There we go. And also we have many other things like the job training, homeless services, food program, so on and so on. So public service always for the people, by the people, and for the people in Alief area. Yes. And Dr. Prong, go ahead for lot two.
All right, so let me follow him up. So we are multifamily affordable rental and development. We said 5 million. We know 5 million does not go a long way. Look at Tiffany. She's like, that's it? Yeah, we put a lot of money into public service, but that's for our senior apartments and rehab, right? But we did put 20 million in our single family homes for emergency repairs for seniors, first time buyers assistance. We also thought that that would support some of our unhoused people, mortgage and utilities assistance, and rehab in these homes because they're living there, but the conditions are not livable. So we want to make sure that we have money in there for rehab services. And that,
The total.
that's right. The total is 50 million, and our priorities are single family and public service. All right.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. We'll pass the mic on to Nick's group in the middle.
Hi, everyone. I don't know how I'm going to follow up that presentation, but I'll try to do my group some justice. Sure, yeah. Okay, so for single family, we put 10 million. For multifamily, we put 15 million, which was the largest for our group. Our group was really concerned with affordable rentals, as well as the condition of rental properties within the neighborhoods. We have public facilities at 10 million, public services at 10 million, public facilities at 5 million, and then services for the homeless at 10. Our group was also really concerned with being able to efficiently get people out of homelessness. So that's our group.
Great. Thank you so much. We'll pass it on to this group in the front with Director Nichols.
Who's on that? Marvin. All right, Marvin. Good evening, everybody. Marvin Melly Jr. Nice to meet you guys. Wait a second. He needs it. We want everybody here. Okay. Sorry. I'm so used to speaking without a mic. Hey, guys. My name is Marvin Melly Jr. Nice to join you guys this evening. I'm going to be presenting our numbers. I think they're pretty much aligned with some of our other groups that have presented earlier, but we really wanted to put an emphasis on multifamily homes. So our highest budgeted item on our budget is going to be 20 million to our multifamily homes. Our idea there is that if you are going to address homelessness and you're going to address housing for people, you need places to put them. So if you don't have the places to put them, you don't have the buildings built, they don't have anywhere to go. So we can want people to not be homeless all day, but if we don't build those multifamily homes, renovate those multifamily homes, they don't have those homes to go to. Our second biggest line item is going to be, we were asked a question, we were faced with the issue that our current residents were facing eviction and we needed to allocate money to address those issues for those people being evicted. What we did was we reallocated 5 million from our single family and 5 million from our multifamily budget and reallocated that to public services. The idea being that those public services could close the gap by providing supplemental funding to any of those families who weren't able to make their way into a single family or multifamily home. So reallocating those funds is going to allow those people to not only still be able to get the benefits of the multifamily funding, but also be able to close the gap by coming to the public services and being able to get services that they need in order to keep themselves within their home. And then next we have 5 million for public facilities, and then we have 5 million for homeless services. Obviously, I think some of that money, we think some of that money could be used for homeless services in conjunction with multifamily services. So you saw us actually reallocate some things there, but that's how our budget broke down. We have 10 million for single family, 20 million for multifamily, 10 million for public services, 5 million for public facilities, and 5 million for services for homeless.
Thank you very much. Pass it on to this group right here in the front.
I'm August Murray, founder of American Housing Connection, Inc. We're a nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt organization. Our group has allocated $15 million to single-family housing. That includes rehabbing. I think a lot of homes can be rehabbed, and we can put a lot of people in these homes. You know, it doesn't have to be a brand new house, but it can be houses that are out there vacant that need to be rehabbed to get these people in these homes and have them take pride in ownership. A multifamily, we put 15 in multifamily. That is apartment complexes, dilapidated apartments that are all over the city that are vacant and they're havens for drug addicts. You know, we could clean those up. And a lot of these properties can be done with money from the city and the government. And 15 will go to multifamily, rehabbing these old apartment complexes and new development. You know, develop small duplexes or triplexes to get people in them. And with home ownership, a lot of these offer home ownership to where you can actually apply to own one of these houses. You know, even apartments. There's apartment homes. You know, you can have an apartment unit can be a home. So that in itself can be interact together with single family housing. Public services, 10 million to public services, childcare, senior and job training assistance. And a lot of single women need childcare. A lot of them need assistance in how to find a job and how to go to job interviews. That would go to help. I think that's a good dollar amount for that. Public facilities, childcare, senior, I mixed them up here. Public facilities, these are facilities that will facilitate these services for these people. And that's very important. You gotta have a facility to help these people. They have to go somewhere, a physical place that would allow those people to get the assistance they need. Transportation to their jobs, to and from their jobs, help with child daycare and all that. 5 million will go to the public facilities, services for homeless, 5 million. I know that's not a lot, but you know, you can get a homeless person into a single family housing or multi-family housing if you do it right. And if you can guide them in the right direction, they can live in a home to where they're not out in the streets. And once they're in these properties, they can get additional help, food, money for necessities. There's also networking and partnership with many other organizations in Houston that they're not even aware of. Many people are not even aware of the dozens and dozens and dozens of organizations that will help all of these people, regardless of which sector they're in. And that's it. That's all we have. That's it.
Thank you so much.
I took a lot of time.
Next group, we'll go to Brian's team back there.
Hello, my name is Julia Arduña. I work with Texas Housers, and we were at this beautiful table with all of these lovely people. We were equally excited about public services as our friends over there, but unfortunately, we got the wild card that said that home repair for owners was important, and so we only put $5 million in public services. We know those are important, and that's where we bring services to people and support them. We put $10 million in public facilities, thinking thinking of quality of life, of drainage, of infrastructure, of parks, and of all of the things that we need to be able to improve where we live. We put 15 million in single family, thinking of the pride of ownership and the opportunity that home ownership gives, the equity that people have, and just thinking about the impacts of disasters and the importance of this money. For both single family and multifamily, we were thinking of prevention of homelessness, as many of our other friends have already said. But we put the majority of our money, $20 million in multifamily housing, just knowing in the area and where we are, there are a lot of aging multifamily housing. There are high concentrations of populations of renters and multifamily housing, people living in poor conditions. And multifamily is an opportunity for people to live where there are barriers to ownership tracks. And so we're really thinking of just different people and different demographics and ages and incomes. And so where is the housing stock for people to live? And hopefully those public services will be in those neighborhoods and in those facilities in the single family and multifamily, as you suggested.
Great, thank you so much. And our last group.
Can I just say one thing?
Sorry.
We put $10 million in public facilities because our coordinator here was the manager for that division. So.
Great. Then lastly,
Hey.
yeah, Andrea and Rashida's group.
It's me again. This time I'm a facilitator. I've been removed from my Vanna White position. So I'm going to serve for our table. I just want to say we had $50 million and my group, we had a money shower, okay? We were making it rain in every single category. We narrowed it down to 3 categories, right? The first category is public services, number 1. We divided that $50 million up by 3 categories. Public services, which many of you, said was a real priority. It's a priority for our table as well. We want to divide public services up for everyone, not just those persons that are homeless, but we want to help those with disabilities. We want to help those with job placement. We want to have childcare. We want all of that. We want it to encompass each group and each subset. So we want to cover everybody. Without public services, you have to have public facilities. You have to have somewhere for them to go. So we made that our number 2. We want to also, and I failed to mention for public services, we also want to do mobile services. I don't know if a lot of you guys are aware, but there are a lot of places that could actually pull up if you're unable to fund the public facility fully with the services inside, right? You could do contracts with mobile services so they could come to the actual facilities. And so we kind of determined that public services and public facilities are one and the same because you want to think one-stop shop, right? Okay, and our third is homelessness. This is a major issue in the city of Houston, right? And so we want somewhere to see our fellow Houstonians be able to receive help. And so we really were proactive about that. A lot of us obviously are working in the city and not just mid-city where I work, it's just all over, right? And you see them and you want to have somewhere for them to go and for them to receive services as well, right? And so that rounds out our 3. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. This concludes.
We nixed the. Oh no. Oh no. You can. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me turn it over to one of my team members who's going to interject. Look. I was asked to add this in. So good evening, everyone. So we added in public services because this is so needed. Once a young adult after 18, after aged out of high school, and they have a disability, there's nowhere for them to go. There's no public facilities, there's no daycare services, and we need to create dollars for this group of people because it creates a real big problem for the parents because they don't have access to Medicare or Medicaid, or sometimes insurances don't pay for it. And these young adults sit in a home with no quality of life. And then a lot of the daycare centers are not offering pampering services. So we need to have services in home as well as facilities so that their social and emotional needs are taken care of. Thank you. we couldn't do everything. I mean, we had money in every category. We need more money. We need more money. Everybody needs more money.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much. This concludes the breakout activity portion of the meeting. Thank you everyone for your participation and engagement. And to the volunteers, thank you very much for leading the group discussions. Lastly, just a friendly reminder, there is a vote board in the front of the room. Please make sure you place 3 dots, the stickers you have on the tables, before you leave today. I will now pass the mic to Deputy Director Derek Sellers for the public comment segment of the meeting. For the vote board.
Just to clarify, if you look on your table, you should have dots. August, will you hold the dots up so everyone can see? What we want you to do is take 3 dots and put it on the board representing your 3 highest priorities for spending the money. Per person.
Does it matter what color?
It doesn't matter. 3 dots per person on the dot board representing the 3, because we talked about it as a table.
Okay.
You need some dots. We have plenty of dots, so if you need dots, just raise your hand and we'll make sure they come to you. Thank you. We're going to hand this over to Derek. Thank you, Derek.
All right, everybody. At this time, okay, everybody. At this time, we're going to begin the public comment portion of the evening. This is your opportunity for you to provide feedback to us, and we want to hear from you. You're welcome to share your thoughts on today's presentations, your community's needs, any priorities you'd like for us to consider as we develop our annual action plan. There are some ground rules to this portion. First up, everybody's going to receive 3 minutes to speak, and there will be a timer on the screen to help with that. This is not a Q&A session. We will be holding a Q&A session after this portion of the agenda. So if you have questions, you can save your questions till then. We also have some experts in the room, so based on the nature of your question, we can also get you connected with one of our members of our team that can answer that for you. When you walked in and you signed in, you were asked if you wanted to do a public speak, if you wanted to speak publicly or not. If you indicated yes, we'll call your name. At that point in time, Alan is going to bring the microphone around, and then we'll ask for you to say your first and last name and then begin your public comment. Yielding time to another person is not allowed. Finally, we will be recording and transcribing your testimony as part of our planning process, and then we'll summarize with responses all of the comments, and will be included in our annual action plan that gets submitted to HUD later this year. It also can be found on our website. Later this year. So it's on our website, and then we'll be submitting it to HUD as well. So please forgive me if I mess up your name. That's just some of the reason we ask for you to say your first and last name when you're asked to speak. So we'll start moving down the list of what I've got indicated. After we move through the full list, we'll do an open call for anybody else that may want to speak that maybe you didn't indicate it when you came in the room. So first up, we have Marvin Medley Jr.
Here you go. Here's the mic. Here's the mic.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marvin Medley Jr. I am a staff accountant for the Covenant House, Texas. I'm really going to be brief. We are partners with the City of Houston, so I wanted to make sure I attended today. Want to just say thank you for the help that you guys have helped us in running our organization. I submit my drawdowns every month and get audited every month by you all. So I have a lot of constant contact. One thing I would just want to make sure that I stated is, like I said, just thank you for all the help. Thank you guys for all the guidance. You guys provide a lot of tools, a lot of resources for us in order to train and to know how to pull down those packets from you all, which is very important for making sure that we continue to have the funding from the City of Houston. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of Covenant House. Thank you guys for hosting this event tonight, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin. Haja Isada McCauley. So raise your hand if, okay. You good? All right, perfect. Camelia Joseph.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pastor Camelia Joseph with Kingdom Works Ministries and Congregational Land Development Greater Houston. We are helping churches to build affordable housing on land they own. And I'm here today to ask to give priority to multifamily housing because many of our people, I want to commend the city on the wonderful job that you're doing with homeownership. $125,000 down payment is just amazing, amazing. But with our houses selling for $400,000 today, you're still left with $275,000 mortgage. And many of the people in our community can't afford it. They work jobs like Burger King, McDonald's, they're personal care attendants, they're nurse aides in our hospitals and our nursing homes. They're doing the housekeeping in our hotels and serving in our restaurants, and they cannot afford a mortgage on the money that they're making. So they deserve a place to live, safe place to live. So we're asking you to give priority for multifamily housing, affordable housing, so that they can have an opportunity. Also, I want to commend the city on the work that you're doing with rehabbing these multifamily facilities, because some of them are just atrocious. And people should not have to live in the places that they do, but they have to live there because they can't afford to be anyplace else. Thank you.
Thank you. Charlene Williams. Are you good? All right. Alita Agoyo. No? Okay. Troyon Porter. You're good? Okay. Got Jimmy and Lynette Dykes.
Good evening, everyone. We are residents of Keegan Glen, and we've lived there for 17 years. We've had 4 floods in about 10 years span. And we've just sort of gone through the process of, being rehabilitated either through FEMA, the amount of monies that we would get from them, or even one time the insurance company actually even paid. And that was a battle. But now we've been like it's been about a year and a half into applying for assistance from the city to rebuild our home. The problem with our home, because in our neighborhood, we are the only home that has actually flooded. We're on a corner, and then on each side of the house, there's it's a cul-de-sac each way. There's only one way out. So I guess the water just comes down and we're probably sitting low. So the home could be rehabilitated because we do have some mold and we need a new roof, but we couldn't get that done because of issues and stuff like that. But at any rate, the home has to be raised. So that means it's probably going to cost the maximum amount of effort to get us in the house, or we're in the house, but to get it rehabilitated to be rebuilt. And so it has been a process, and it's just that we were concerned because no matter, we did everything right the first time, which is last year, we applied for a program and it looked like we were gonna get through, and then they said, well, at the end of it, we don't have enough money for you. And then, so we started over the program, and I did notice in one of the new programs where the verbiage has really changed, and I noticed in one of your clips that you did say that that you've changed the information, so it's not so difficult to finish the program, to finish the application, and I thank you for that. And so we got that through. So we're praying, of course, for not only ourselves, but I know there's got to be hundreds of other people like us out there. I would just like to see that process even further help further along in terms of giving more information as to what's going to happen, because like a year and a half ago, or about a year ago, we thought we were going to get our house started and rebuild. Only to find, I'm sorry? And then we were told that we were approved, but then at the end, someone calls me and says, well, no, yours is going to cost too much. because they have to raise the house and it's over X amount of money, et cetera. So, okay, we start all over. We're living, we didn't die, we're still, and we're in the process. So I know that there's other people like us. So I just want to say, but we're in it. I know that you're real, and so we're going to do a weekend, and so we're trying to. And the other thing, one thing is that the monies that you give for transferring or for moving people and whatnot. I know that that's a very difficult thing too, and we just need a little bit more information. I think the people, because you got probably hundreds of people who are applying, and they don't get a lot of answers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dykes. And we'll definitely get you connected with somebody from the program tonight so that we can start that process. Margarita Trong. Margarita Trong. Maybe she stepped away. David Shaw.
Yes. I represent the returning citizens. I did 26 years in prison, and I'm homeless. I sleep in my car. And I think it's a forgotten community, because when you're down there and you fighting for your life, nobody's taking care of you, nobody's trying to help you, nobody's right. I did my time, I did my crime, and then I came up from the bottom to the top. This so-called Reverend Hampton lied on me and said I assaulted him. And they almost killed me. So from that point on, I was just fighting for survival. So I didn't educate myself. So I don't know too much about the cell phone and things of that nature. And God led me over here to get something printed out to try to be in this program. And I still couldn't do it. But I don't know what happened. Everything happens by the grace and the will of God. So I was led here to share my testimony. And I worked all kind of work. I cut grass or whatever that's needed to be done. I wash cars, So, if anybody needs some service, then I can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Jorge Murcia.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm thankful for the city of Houston for putting the community together. Wow, I feel like SpongeBob, SquarePants. But all I can say is thank you. Thank you for caring about the community. We are all going through tough times, one day or another. That's life. Live it up. Fight. That's all you can do. Fight. Fight and show what you are really made of. All I can say is thank you for this opportunity to express my true feelings. Thank you for listening, and God bless you, all of you. God bless you, all of you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Let's go. Mary Jane Osmana. Mary Jane. All right, not seeing it. Lester James. Lester James. Oh, right up front.
My name is Lester James. My topic covers housing. And the first thing I'd like to say is affordable housing is an oxymoron, kind of like artificial intelligence. And I say that because housing, from my perspective, is the most critical thing in this city, in the world. And there are a lot of people out there that we call homeless that I've come to know. And those people aren't really homeless. They just don't have the same brick and mortar shelter that I do. They have a place to stay. This facility serves a lot of homeless people unbeknownst. They go into the library, they sit outside, they hang all around here. So just like this guy here, he's not the only one sleeping in his car. I don't know how we can fix this problem, but in America, housing is a big, 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 big mess. They are building multifamily homes. I lived in a quote unquote high quality apartment complex when I was much younger. It was top of the line at the time. Now it's a dump. The new multifamily facilities they are building cost more than some of the people's mortgages around here, but they are beautiful. They are luxurious and they are trendy. That's not affordable housing. And I'm not blaming the builders or the people that can afford that, but I've taken more of an interest in housing since I've been dealing with homeless people. And that should become a big priority, whether it's single family or multifamily. And there's a blurry line between the two because I've seen situations where single family households are housing multiple families.
Thank you, Mr. James. Song Beyond.
Hi, my name is Song Byun. I'm Korean American. This is for first homebuyer program, homebuyer assistance program. The applicant must complete the home ownership education certificate program, but unfortunately, this education program is supported in a limited language. The immigrant community is priority is language access. And I want to ask that are you willing to delegate the program so that it can be taught in each language in a diverse communities. Of course, the agency must pass the government the qualification guideline, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas Kima. Not seeing Thomas Kima. Stephen Okerink. I got that right.
You're good. It's Stephen Okoronkwo. Good evening. I just want to say thank you to Miss Council Member for, bringing this meeting together and her team. Everybody's been a great help. And just seeing everybody come out here today is just amazing for the community. Without y'all input and support, this community center probably wouldn't happen, and some of the changes in Houston probably wouldn't even happen. That's a big thing. Even though we have like 50 million to work with, y'all's input is like priceless, and that's beautiful. I would like to focus more on public facilities, things like this, where kids, people that are less fortunate are able to come together and have a safe haven, to come and, collaborate and talk and just feel connected into the community. And so I think those are little important things, starting, young, starting where the need is needed is a good step. So I appreciate y'all for coming in and talking about it.
Thank you, Stephen. Marvell Washington. All right. AP Yang.
Hi, good evening. I talked once before, but I'm going to repeat my message. I started a nonprofit called Young Homeowners League. So my objective is to organize young people starting from high school to form student-led enterprises, especially in home construction or anything in real estate. And for the single-family housing program, my proposal is a $3 million revolving fund that would generate 100 small lots for the high schools. I mean, the high schools, they have construction classes already. They're willing to do construction. So we generate with $3 million, 100 lots so that the high schools can help the students can build the starter homes on those lots. Then you sell those homes in the affordable prices. Then you get the $3 million back and repeat that. So you put in $3 million, generate 100 homes each round, and get it back and generate another 100 homes the next round. And you get the high school kids learning how to build the homes, and the homes will be cheaper because they are smaller, and the labor will be just normal labor, not the high price. And the builders are too busy building the bigger homes. So let the students build the smaller homes. And another proposal is we have the typical single-family home is much bigger, right? 4-bedroom, $300,000. Most people, I mean, half the population cannot afford those. How about let 4 people buy one of those homes together? Right now, the main difficulty is the mortgage have to be 4 people together. So if one of them want to sell, move out, that go into difficulty, can find someone to replace the mortgage. Some of the states have those mortgage already for each part of a home. So let's hope City of Houston work with some lenders, come up with a mortgage that would help the people replace 1/4 of a home. So 4 people buy a 4-bedroom single-family home. Each one own 1 bedroom, and they share the kitchen and living room. And if each person can have their own mortgage, they can afford it, right? If the home is $200,000, each person only needs a $50,000 mortgage. And a lot of people can afford those mortgages. So let's work on another approach, have a mortgage for a portion of the home based on a bedroom and share the living room and kitchen. And for the remodeling, you can remodel those homes to be more privacy for each bedroom. Each have a separate door to the outside, so it look like an apartment, right? So we convert all those people talking about that. So we convert a lot of those single-family homes into like an apartment for 2 or 3 or 4 people. Now you have more people who can afford to buy those homes. So that's my 2 proposals. One is $3 million revolving fund to generate 100 lots so that the student can build 100 homes each round. And the second proposal is to have a mortgage that allows people to buy a single bedroom in a single family home. That's all.
Appreciate it, Mr. Yang. August Murray.
I'm August Murray. I think this is a great, that the community has pulled together to gather and like meeting of the minds, and there's a lot of very smart people here. And, I'm just an ordinary person, but I spent my life savings putting together my organization, because I want to make a difference just like everyone else does, but I want to see it before I pass on. I want to see something happen. And I think because of all of you, you have ideas, and whether you're an individual or you have a nonprofit organization, I think that if we pull together with the city and their funds, we can make a big difference. But you know what? There are a lot of other organizations out there. We don't have to use all the city's money. There are literally hundreds of other organizations that can help people, but you have to dig for it. You go Google it, go to the internet. It's there for free for the taking. There's a lot of information out there. You just have to dig for it. Like for the gentleman here, I can think Texas General Land Office. They will rehab your home for you. It won't cost you a dime. That will even facilitate where you will stay until you're shaking your head no. Okay, when did you find out? Because I was told they weren't out of money. When did you find out? Okay, I've helped several people get into homes where they didn't even know they could get in a home. Their houses flooded. They were falling apart. Mold in the homes. I got them in brand new homes just for making a phone call. And it was easy. They didn't want to go through the motion. It's too much work. I'm on hold for an hour. No, but they're in new homes now. And, there are so many ways to help people. You just have to, I think if we can all educate the masses of people that need help, I think they will get the help they need. We can conquer homelessness in little by little. It's not going to take. It's going to take time because there's a lot of homeless people out there. But multifamily housing, I think most of the money should go to multifamily and single family housing. Who's gonna finance 5 people on a mortgage? That's not gonna happen. But you know what? A mortgage company is not gonna do that. They want one person in charge of that mortgage note. But you know what? With help from the city to get money for that down payment, you can sublease your rooms to someone else at an affordable dollar amount where they can afford. And so there are more ways to skin a cat. I don't like that term because I love animals. But you know what? There are ways to jump those hurdles. We have to think outside the box. And there's a lot of people that they're afraid to think outside the box. But I think if you just venture out a little bit, you will find answers, and they're out there.
Thank you, Mr.
Answers are
Murray.
out there.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
The final person that we had on the list was Pastor Jacqueline Lee.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or good evening tonight. I'm Pastor Jacqueline Lee, and I do have a nonprofit called Well of Living Waters, and we help women realign their lives and live with purpose and help them release the busy mind and manage inner conflicts and rediscover their genius and walk in clarity, move forward in clarity, calm, and confidence. But I'm really here on behalf of seniors and advocating for a budget for more affordable housing for seniors, and also vigilant about creating a safe space for seniors. I really want to give you a little bit of testimony about my own experience. Last year in May, I moved into a senior housing place, and within 4 months, I became extremely ill. And I didn't know what it was, but I was impacted by a place that was full of mold. So I can tell you that it was extremely devastating. I was relaunching this business and didn't have a lot of money. And on a budget, senior budget. And so I could tell you that my stomach just sank to the ground. At this age, yeah, I'm over 60, but a young 60. Well, actually, add 10 more to that. But anyway, my point being is that I was extremely devastated. And this was the thing. It was the place that I moved into was a brand new place. It was already filled with mold. And so that was not disclosed to us. And so I lost everything. I lost all my clothes. I lost all my shoes. I lost everything. A library full of books, fur coats, everything. I had to walk out of there with nothing. And so I was left to end up which I didn't have money to afford to do. Thanks to my church, they helped me to move into a new place, but I had to live in a hotel for about 3 weeks or so, and they gave me enough money to move into a place. But my point being, where I was, I could afford it. Now, where I am is almost double of what it cost before. So, because I couldn't find affordable housing, I couldn't find another senior home. So I say be vigilant about making sure these places are safe beforehand, because there's a lot of people that was displaced. A lot of people, had to move back with some family members. A lot of people didn't have anywhere to go. And so I'm in a place and it's extreme. I have to, let's say I have to overdraw my account every month, $500 in order to live. So my budget is, I think they say something like it's 30%. It should be 30% of what your income. Thank you. Mine is somewhere near 80. It's just terrible. And I had to do a lot of praying. Huh? What numbers? Oh, quickly. Let me just give you these and then I'm finished. I get about, let's say, $1,800 a month, and over there it was about $850 to live. And where I am right now with rent, light, and phone, it's about $1,540. And what I have left is $259. I haven't eaten, haven't bought any toiletries, and so that's where I live. But I'm always a person that's positive, and I'm grateful to be where I am today. So thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Pastor Lynn. So at this time, that's all the people that indicated when they came in that they wanted to do a public comment. If you didn't indicate and you would like to do one, just raise your hand, and then we'll ask you to please say your first and last name before you begin speaking. So I'll hand over here first. Say your first and last name, please.
Candace Ferreira. I'm an Alief resident, 17 years. Tiffany is my city councilwoman, and I'm glad to be here. I wasn't on the comments, but as I listen to everyone, what I hear is a lot of pressure. I hear a little bit of suffering. I hear a lot of people trying to get by with a little bit. And I see that this is the City of Houston Housing and Community Development. And in order to develop, people need to be thriving. And you can't thrive under pressure. You can't thrive with limited resources and having so many needs that are being unmet. So I know that you guys are here to try to meet people's needs. So what I want to talk about is maybe one of the priorities that you can have is to focus on programs that if you have people that have already invested in a community to live somewhere and have bought a home and maybe they've come in through a hard time, there's a program that can keep them in their homes if they've already started to rent or lease a place. There are programs that can keep them living where they're already living so that they can thrive where they are without having to uproot themselves and move around. Because instability is not development either. So I would hope that you just create more programs for that. Also lobby for seniors to reduce their property tax burden and the burden that they have to maintain their homes and keep them in good shape and condition for them to live in. And I would also like to see the multifamily homes. I would like to see a lot more pressure on the property owners to keep their facilities up and to change the way that some of these apartments were built back in the day when Houston became a place where a lot of people came to work. There was a lot of single men. So there are not a lot of places that were built for families and for children to have a safe place to play in instead of playing in parking lots. So that's what I would like to see, and I would like to see the community thrive.
Thank you. Then we got this gentleman here, and then we have Doug over here.
Tracy Fleming's here with the Harris County Aging and Disability Resource Center and also AAA, not the roadside service, but the Area Agency on Aging. To Councilwoman Thomas, I want to say thank you for spearheading all the issues and initiatives for housing. To Mr. Nichols and Ms. Lisa and her staff, again, thank y'all for holding this. My biggest plea is as I partner and I advocate for the disabled and for the seniors. Ms. Mabel, for discussion purposes, is on a fixed income. She's gonna give up her dental, but keep the medical, and make sure that she has something to eat and toiletry items. So it is about affordable housing. I serve as a housing navigator, so I get the phone calls. So income support is important. If you can continue to champion for us in the city, Harris County as a whole, you got my vote every single time. But then most of all and stuff, it is also, that's fine, I'll be there. But then also for 59 and younger. So the young lady that asked about those services, so ADRC does have some programs and resources for 59 and younger and everything, because there are some citizens that are disabled that are 59 and younger. So we just need the support, income support, affordable housing, and make sure that those apartments, those builders, hey, make sure that tax credit. You want the permits, you want this, guess what? Make sure to make it affordable housing for the citizens of Harris County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming. Doug.
My name is Doug Smith, and if you have the ability to watch last Sunday night's 60 Minutes program, I would urge you to do so. They had a great presentation on factory-built homes, and it's not the way we used to think about those homes. Once they're put together, they look like any other home in the neighborhood. They are built at a much lower cost than a stick-built home because they're built inside. They don't have to worry about weather. And it's a very economical way to put people in single-family homes. And I would like to ask the department to consider a pilot program in applying for the single-family money to do a pilot program of 10 factory-built homes. And there's land all over the place, the Houston Land Bank, the Third Ward has all kinds of property. There's all kinds of land to put these homes on. And I think it would be a great way to get a lot of people into single-family homes at a much lower cost than typically you would pay for a single-family home. And also, I know how much it costs you to do apartments, a lot less than it would cost on a per apartment basis to do that. So please consider an allocation to a program like that before or when you submit your application to the federal government.
Thanks, Doug. Alan, you got it.
Good evening, all. My name is Valencia Dorset. Excuse me. I'm here for several reasons, actually. One of which is because I fit into several of the categories that were discussed this morning. I fit into several of the categories that were discussed this evening. I'm from Michigan. I've only been here for a little less than 2 years. I come from a domestic situation, domestic violence. I am a single mother. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I was in desperate need of job placement and help, and I was blessed. God is so awesome. I was blessed to have found someone that kind of helped me get back into insurance. So now I'm a life and health insurance agent, and I'm doing the best that I can with what I have, right? I'm in an apartment complex that has issues. I've been through several avenues to try to get help to get these issues addressed, to no avail, right? So I just thank everybody for everything that they're doing here. I came in, as I said, as powers in numbers, so I'm here for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Lewis, last name White. I wasn't going to say anything. I came here for information, basically. But because of the comments and Jorge and some challenges that people are facing, I'd be remiss if I didn't speak up for the people that's pouring out their heart right now, that need help. And so one of the things I like to share, I just want to take some time to pray for y'all, because the Bible says we have the power inside of us to change a situation. The Bible says in Hebrews 10:32, call to remembrance the former days when you was first illuminated. Illuminated with what? Your gift. Everybody in here has a gift inside of them. He said, call that back to remembrance. So you know you good at something. You have to take this time to remind yourself, you sleeping in a car, you whatever. You have to remember who you are. Nobody gonna ever beat you at being you. Maintain your confidence no matter what. Whatever you facing, you have to stir up the gift inside of you and call that back to remembrance and surround yourself with like-minded individuals that's gonna keep you encouraged and keep you moving forward. If you're in the wrong atmosphere, you gotta have people gonna speak life into you and encourage you. But I just came here for information. I want to if it's okay if I could share a prayer. Father, right now, you said, first of all prayer, supplication, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings, and all in authority, so that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of God, our Lord and Savior, who have all men to be saved and come into the knowledge of the truth, because he is the truth. He is the truth. If you got a deed right, you got to say, seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness. That's what we got to do. So you have to remember that. Call that back to remembrance. You know who you are. Don't let anybody put you down. If you're sleeping on a car, sleeping in the street, call that back to remembrance and remind yourself of who you are. Don't let nobody look down on you. So that's what I wanted to. I wasn't going to say anything, but don't let the enemy take a foothold in your life. You have to stand up for righteousness. You have to stand up for truth. Don't let somebody put the wrong. The Bible says in John 5:41, let me just say it. I'm going to say this. It's the enemy is the accuser of the brethren. He gets you to start doubting this, saying that all these negative thoughts. He said, he calls you, he puts you down and make you feel bad and stuff like that, but you have to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. And so what if everybody's need in here needs was taken care of right now? I just did like this and everybody's need was taken care of right now. That's the organization we're trying to build right now. It's using a vehicle that's already out there, football. And we want to be an organization that's dedicated to serving the community, to feed the people that's facing challenges and homeless, people that's autism, that's getting abused. That's what we want to be, an organization like that's going to make an impact and change in people's lives. And so I was sleeping in a car. I was sleeping on a church bench. I was abused when I was little. I had somebody pour into me and called me he said, this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. He knows your name. You got to maintain your confidence no matter what. Don't never let nobody look down on you.
Thank you, Mr. White.
All right? Sorry about that. That's a beard.
Any more public comments? Anyone from the floor? Or did we have last one?
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. The strongest word is I'm terribly excited of what City of Houston is doing. I've been working for City of Houston when I came to America in 1978. I have done construction. I have two companies, one nonprofit and the other a regular construction. OB Construction and Project Management. I just love the fact that the City of Houston didn't look at me on my face to give me work. They trained me, in a sense, to teach me how to do things. Foundation, driveways. City of Houston worked with me all through. I just love that. I love the City of Houston, what they've done and what they're doing. I have a nonprofit, Events Incorporated. I built for the state of Texas elderly homes. I demo all the existing homes, and we'll put a new one here in Houston. And I'm excited to see what's going on here now. Please keep it up, because when I came to Houston, you guys didn't look at my face, look at my person. I went to U of H, College of Architecture. Then I taught drawings, design at Booker T. Washington School. So I thank God for what he has done for me and what he will do for each and every one of you. You're here not just for yourself being here, but we're here to promote City of Houston and Alief. Keep it up. Keep it up. God bless you all.
We get his name. You get his name. Can you
stand up and you bring your mic?
Will you say your name, sir? So we have it on the record.
Ebenezer.
Okay, thank you.
Ebenezer and then not Scrooge now, just Ebenezer.
Thank you, sir.
Then we have one.
Hi, I just want to preface, okay, my name is Kaylin Ramirez. I'm speaking now as an individual. I do work for a government office. I'm not speaking on their behalf now. So I noticed there's a lot of people that have nonprofits in here, and we're talking about working together, right? You were talking about a football team. I'm an exec for the Houston Workers Council. So Workers Council is a collection of working class organizations and individuals seeking to address the needs of their community. We build dual power structures to respond to local issues and develop the community's capacity for political organization. We give community members the opportunity to learn from one another by involving their membership in each other's causes. In doing so, skills are coordinated and utilized to their fullest potential, maximizing the use of available resources. This cooperation is essential for communities to sustain themselves outside of structures that have historically not always sustained us. So no matter who is elected, tomorrow everything will not be solved. So in the meantime, how can we bridge that gap? You have an org, you have an org, you have an org. Now, if you all knew each other and all your orgs can help each other out, how much further would your reach go? There's no need for us to keep starting, oh, I'm gonna do my own little thing, I'm gonna do my own little thing, when there is power in your community and there's power in your neighbors. In my opinion, God is the collective, right? That's to each their own. God is you, God is me, so we're within each other, and I cannot be God without you here by my side. I think that is something that Houston has the capability of really taking forward. And so if anyone would like to come and get my information and bring your org to the Houston Workers Council, I would absolutely love that. If your cause is more of the unhoused people, please pay attention to your Justice of the Peace races. They deal with the eviction cases the most. Talk to your Justice of the Peace, ask them why they didn't do the eviction diversion initiative, and talk to your our commissioners. Thank you so much.
So at this point, we'll have Lisa come up and take us into the next part of the evening.
Wow, what a meeting. For this to be the first that I hosted, the second that I've attended, I will say I'm very impressed. I'm impressed with the robustness of the compassion and the passion that you've exhibited tonight, the information sharing, the resource sharing. I love that, especially coming from the youth. I don't know how old you are. You look 12. But I love that because that's exactly what we need. So, Alan? At this time, we will begin the question and answer segment. You will be allowed to voice your thoughts and opinions on today's presentation. Make sure you said something nice about me, or your community needs and wants. But before we get started, let's go over ways to comment and the ground rules. We're going to go back to the ground rules. We're going to be respectful. We've seen that exhibited throughout the night. Avoid inflammatory languages. We all have opinions. We're all passionate about our opinions. I love how we've countered each other, but respectfully. Let's keep that energy. Be mindful of the background noise, just because there are conversations taking place because you guys have made connections, and that's fine. Just keep it to a minimum. So now we're going to begin the question and answer segment. Director Nichols, if you want to join me up here so you can take this part over, I will turn it over to you. Thank you.
And this is the last section.
This is the last section.
All right, questions and answers, and Councilwoman Thomas, come close because I'm sure you may want to say something. Questions? We may have tired everybody out. Then any questions?
He's the director of the housing department.
That's right.
The city of Houston.
Okay, ready? Then I'll move to close, is that right?
Here we have one question, did you say?
Oh, raffle.
Raffle, you can't go out without your prizes, that's right. All right, at this time, we'll go ahead and do the raffle. Everyone should have their blue ticket. How many do I pull? 2. Okay, I'm gonna pull 2. You must be present to, Kim is gone, Kim Boo is gone. So you must be present to win. Tara? Tara, yes, 7511. 7511.
Yeah.
Oh, my name. Yeah. It's you. All right. All right, we got you. Come on.
Come on.
All right, come on down. Rosetta? 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 Okay, no. Charles. Kone? K-O? Yes. Winner! Hey, my friend! All right. The chair of our Sierra Leone community.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on, get a picture.
Let's get a photo.
What do you win then? The photo?
2 gift cards.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Wonderful for the internet.
So, you ready for the close? So I'll bring this to a close very quickly. I will say tonight was both educational for me, but also emotional for me. The emotion comes from how much people want to see good done.
Yeah.
And it is very emotional to me. I'm thinking about Dr. King's comment about we shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice. But most people forget the we shall overcome part. They just say the arc of the universe bends toward moral justice. It doesn't bend by itself. It takes all of you working together, voting, cooperating, collaborating. That's what it takes. And what we did today was hard because we said we don't have money to fix everything. But with your help, we can do it more wisely, more effectively and more efficiently. Thanks so much for being here. It's been very, very meaningful to me.
Put a round of applause together for yourselves. This room was absolutely amazing, a true representation of the city of Houston, from intergenerational, from age, issue, persuasion, all of it was right here in the house, closest to the issues. I want to thank you. Nothing gives me joy than to represent you at City Hall, and tonight you just made that a reality. Continue to follow up. If you did not sign in, make sure that we have your information. There's another opportunity to contribute on April 7th from 3 to 5 p.m. Thank y'all. Good night.
And the councilwoman may be right that the west side
Is the best.